Here's my video on the real reason why Nipsey Hussle got killed. Talk about the Nipsey Hussle situation and give my perspective on it. Now, he's 33 years old. I'm 29. I got one more year before I turn 30. So me and him, we come from the same era, the same set of street rules. And I want to break something down to you guys. And I know a lot of people are saying he got set up for trying to do a documentary, right? Trying to expose this doctor person. I don't know the dude's name, but you guys know who I'm talking about. Now me, I'm a biased person, and I'm finna give two different sides that's finna add up and expose some shit. So, first, let me start off by giving some history with the doctor. You know, he's been around for years. He said he found cures for a lot of diseases, and that the government knows, and they wanted to reach out to him for help, saying, well, can you help us so we can give these things to a lot of people here in America? He didn't want to sell that. You know, he didn't want to help. He comes from Nigeria. He comes from a certain part of Nigeria that goes and studies in voodoo rituals, sacrifices as well. And that era, in that village where he came from, where Left Eye went to rebuild herself in spiritual healing, has a dark side nexus. Now, I don't know if you guys know what a nexus is. It's an energy spot for either good or bad, for negative energy in terms of demons can cross into the world of the living. And that's what he studied. Now, when Nipsey Hussle decided to do this documentary, he wanted to expose this doctor and the light of saying he may have found these cures, but he don't care about the people in America. That's why he didn't want to reach. That's why he refused to reach out to the governments that reached out to him. Also, this person studied, and these cults, these sacrifices, these rituals, these voodoo that he's done, and was born into this village of a dark side nexus. Now, going in on that, the doctor got assassinated. Yeah, he got killed. He got killed down in Georgia. However, there's a reason why. It wasn't by police custody. I want you guys to hear that again. It wasn't by police custody. He wanted to expose the Zulu Nation. He wanted to expose the main head of the Zulu Nation, which is Africa Bambaataa, for the child pedophilia and rape charges that he's getting away with. Because the doctor person used to be part of that group. He left because they're letting a lot of the rapists and their group get away with it, even though a good majority of them have spoke out against it and wanted them out of it, but they're still keeping them in and protecting African Bambaataa. So the doctor left because he's not down with rape and kids. He's not down with that. And because he wanted to fully expose not just African Bambaataa, but the Zulu Nation, they didn't like that. Now, the Zulu Nation has gang ties. So they're going to pay some gang members, some shooters, to assassinate him down in Georgia, and that's what happened. Now, again, the Zulu Nation has gang ties. If you come out speaking some hard truth and trying to expose them, you get killed. Going in on that, I want to give history of rappers, certain ones that got killed over the years. Now, before I do that, let me go on with Left Eye. Left Eye's my kin. Alright? You guys watched the documentary, and there's a lot of stuff that got took out of that documentary, by the way. Left Eye, if you guys, a week before to a couple days before her death, her car accident, right? She went to that place not knowing that was a dark side nexus. And what that doctor was feeding her was poisons and toxins and trying to kill her slowly because she was out doing God's work and wanting to rebuild herself. So, check this out. Now, we all know about the little boy she accidentally ran over. He got killed. She paid for the funeral, helped the family out, things out of that nature. Right? Well, when she was driving, they didn't tell you how the accident really happened. I'm going to tell you guys. Now, the little boy's last name was Lopez. Well, because she was driving through that area of Nigeria in that village with the dark side nexus, people were planting bad spirits. So they summoned an evil spirit that would look like that boy. And when she saw that on the road in front of her, she swerved off to the side of the road because she didn't know what to think and what to do. And that's how she got killed. Also, the autopsy report, to really look into it, those foods that she was eating had toxins and poisons in them. So that doctor wanted to kill her. Think about that. All this adds up with what I'm saying, which goes into Nipsey Hussle's death. Now, rappers, you know, we always have love for the hood. We want to keep it a hood, and that's the problem. That is the problem. Now, that's one side of the coin that adds up to this. Nipsey Hussle got killed because he kept his business in the streets too much. He kept his business in the fucking streets too much. Now, I want to break something down to you guys about that. I want to break this down, right? So, first rapper I'm about to name, Eazy-E. Eazy-E, a lot of people say the government killed him. Some say Suge Knight killed him. Yeah, NWA was a threat because they brought light to how the black society is in America, and people didn't want to believe it. Now, he didn't get killed just by the government. No. His wife, if you ask me, and also Jerry Heller, they hired women that had diseases. So he had unprotected sex with them. And he died of bloated AIDS. Now, something don't add up to that. You just don't die of bloated AIDS. They inject poisons in his body. Because I know somebody, and one of my relatives had bloated AIDS, and he survived it. You know, we see a lot of people do walk around with these diseases, and you know, it just don't kill you like that. I mean, yeah, it can kill you, but it's like a slow eating death, but you are going to take stuff for that, or try to, and hope, you know, to still live for a certain number of years, but you just don't die like that from bloated AIDS. No. His wife and Jerry Heller took money, paid certain doctors to inject Eazy-E or something else that killed him. But he was really big on sexuality. He was really sexually active. So on the other side of the coin, he really kept that part in the streets too much. And that's how he got caught up with that. He got caught up in fast women. You know what I'm saying? So, the next person I'm about to name is Tupac. Tupac was never a thug. He was never a gangster. But Tupac pocked his shit. And when you're doing that, you're all going to have to show your weight to gain your stripes. But he kept the bad people around him so much that he kept so much of his business in the street that it ended up coming back around him. Because you were hanging around people that were gang affiliated. And everyone's going to think now you're gang affiliated. And because you were hanging around people who were gang affiliated, they want to get rid of you. Now, he was a Black Panther. We know that. He was born into it. But those that don't know their history when the Black Panthers broke up, you had one that went to South California, one that went to North California. One started the Bloods, one started the Crips. Well, throughout history, that history got lost because money came in and drugs along with that, and of course gang violence. Now, gang violence ain't usually a Blood versus a Crip or other gangs versus different gangs. It's usually gangs fighting within amongst themselves. And Tupac was the main head of a lot of that street shit. Always within the streets. And because of that, that shit came back to bite him because he was hanging around Suge Knight. So they killed Pac. Because Suge Knight's a snake. So Pac kept his business in the streets too fucking much, and that's why he got killed. Going in on that, same thing with Biggie. Biggie got killed. Now, he was never a gang member, but he kept himself surrounded by people that were gang affiliated and sold a lot of drugs and packed guns. Also from the East Coast. Because he was in Compton during that time, they didn't like that, so they killed him. He kept his shit in the streets too much. Going back to Pac, same thing. They killed him because of false flagging, false claiming. When they found out he originally from the East Coast and not originally from the West. And that's one of the rules. When you do that, that's considered false claiming, jumping, and false flagging. It's kind of like if you're... I want to make up a gang. Let's say if you were part of a gang called the Woods, and you want to go to a gang called the Leaves, and you didn't do the proper things to get out of that, and now you're claiming another gang. That's called jumping and false flagging. Just like if you, just like what New York's doing now, a lot of them are copying from Atlanta. A lot of these new artists copying Atlanta so much down here in the South. And a lot of them, they're Indians claiming they from Atlanta when you're really from New York and you stay in New York. That's considered false claiming and false flagging and false jumping. So that's another reason why Pac got killed. Now, next artist to name, not LL Cool J, DJ Jam Master Jay, the DJ for Run DMC. Jam Master Jay kept his shit in Queens too much. He kept everything in the fucking projects way too much. His business in the streets way too much. He was always in the streets every day. Ask 50 Cent. That's how 50 Cent knew Jam Master Jay. Now Jam Master Jay knew 50 Cent. 50 Cent was slanging back then before he started rapping. 50 Cent learned his skills from Jam Master Jay and signed to the label as a student. And plus, not only did he keep his shit in the streets way too much, he kept himself affiliated with streets cats he didn't need to be affiliated with. And because of all that, he got killed. Because of keeping his shit in the streets too much. Way too fucking much. Then you have a lot of these Chicago artists who get put on so quick but then go so fast. Because same thing, they keep their shit in the streets way too much. Way too much. And then going into Nipsey Hussle. Yes, he was a Crip. Yes, he surrounded himself with people he should have got rid of. He kept his shit in the streets way too fucking much. And that's what ended up getting him killed. So it all adds around. So not only was he assassinated by the Zulu Nation, who has gang ties in California, but also he kept his business in the streets, and all that came back around, and that's what got him killed. See, the problem is, when you get to a certain level where you're now got put on, you're able to go on TV, interviews, drop music internationally, being able to do big venue spots and get paid a lot of money, be able to, you know, get yourself out of poverty. We always like to go back, and that's the problem. Because when you're starting out, no one gives a shit about you. No one's going to fuck with you. No one's going to support you. The only time people want to be fans and supporters when it's accurate, when someone comes around with a nice car, jewelry, and money, and they want to dick ride and sponge off you. Any other time before that, they ain't want shit to fucking do with you. Now, it may seem all good for a little while, but there's only a certain amount of time that you can really do that. Until one day they decide to kill you, and they're sending a message by killing you saying, hey, we don't want you back around here no more, so we're going to get rid of you. You know, why give back to a place that doesn't have no love, no respect, and that takes and destroys? And when they get something, it's a continued pattern. Take, destroy, who are ungrateful and don't appreciate things, and also through jealousy as well, and then plan to set you up. You know, and that's what poverty does. That's what the people do, especially down here in the South. Now, those that watch my videos, you guys already know where I'm coming from with that. So in the end, what killed Nipsey Hussle was he kept the shit in the streets too much. He said too much in those interviews, and because of that, he was set up and killed. That's all there is to it. You know, once you make it out of poverty, man, you don't go back. And think about what I'm saying. Those that watch this video, think about everything that I'm saying and put it together and tell me what you get from it. Because in the end, those people, they never gave a fuck about you. Ever. It doesn't matter if you're dead, who I'm talking to right now. It doesn't matter if you're alive. If you're a person that got put on, and all of a sudden you found yourself surrounded by people who you think who your friends, who you never saw before, people who you think who really support you, and fans and people that really love you, who were never there before, they're only there because they want to be a supporter, a fan, and a friend, and to love you. Why? It's accurate, because you have money. Any other time, they never want shit to do with you. And when you surround yourself with those type of people, they're going to do shit to get you in trouble. And then once you get in trouble and go away and fall and lose a lot of money, they're going to leave, and then they're going to have people set you up. You don't go back to places like those. Once you make it out, you leave. Leave. Don't give back to a place that don't deserve it. A place that's ungrateful. A place that doesn't appreciate anything, because it's there to destroy. You know, just leave your shit in the streets once you get on. Abandon it. Fuck it. Don't go back. And if people say, man, you changed up. Yeah, I fucking changed up. I changed up because I put myself in a situation to where I'm good now. But it all depends on how long I'm going to last. Why should I give back to people that don't deserve it, that won't appreciate it, that just wants to take and destroy, and then set me up so they can make a name for themselves? No. So you're damn right I changed up. Fuck y'all. See what I'm saying? In the end, he was killed because he kept his shit in the streets too much, and he was saying too much in those interviews that ended up him getting killed. Think about what I'm saying. Everything adds up. Now, I may not have a big platform, I may not have a big following, but I get a good number of views of what I'm comfortable with, and at least I try to get my message out there. And because I'm not as big or big at all, I'm in the safe zone of still being alive until someone chooses to say, you know what, he's saying too much, we have to kill him. You know, there's a big difference between being awoke and really awoke. That whole woke community with the meditations, religion, church, meditating, that's that fake ass shit. Real woke is shit that you stumble onto that you never thought you would stumble onto before, and stuff that really fucking scares you. And you will, something that your mind cannot handle. And for you to actually lose yourself in it, in order for you to come back really awoke and now know the truth about a lot of things. And some people can't come back from that, because right now you're asleep and you're not seeing things right. But you have to lose yourself in order to get to that place to actually be awoke. And that's what happened to me several fucking times. I'm sorry for the language, but You know, that's what happened to me. I literally lost myself and got so damn scared of things that I found out. But I'm glad I did. And I'm really, really fully awoke on a lot of realistic things. So, that's about it. I hope you guys understand this video and why Nipsey Hussle really got killed. He kept his business in the streets, and he said too much in interviews he should have kept quiet about, and that's what got him killed. He kept his business in the streets too much, and they set him up. The streets have no love for you out here.